Right here on this block, children who attend my church catch the bus every morning for school. And yesterday, their bus stop became a scene of terror.
Protests again today after a vigil last night in Minneapolis after an ICE agent is seen on video shooting a woman to death. But the government today pushing back, accelerating ICE operations in that city. The U.S. Attorney General today also warning protesters not to cross a line with violence, and the Minnesota governor praising protesters for keeping it peaceful last night. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. The event's not only sparking clashes between protesters and law enforcement, but between state and federal leaders now. CNN's Lee Waldman is in Minneapolis with the latest.
Grief.
It was so sad. It was so sad. It's like you have to do something. You can't just sit back on the sidelines.
And outrage. After an ICE agent fatally shot a 37-year-old woman in her vehicle in Minneapolis on Wednesday.
There is every reason to believe that Renee Nicole Good lost her life trying to help the most vulnerable neighbors in her community.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defended the agent and claimed the woman tried to run him over, while state and local officials disputed claims that the shooting was done in self-defense.
They demanded and commanded her to get out of her vehicle several times. She did not. This is an experienced officer who followed his training, and we will continue to let the investigation unfold.
But Minnesota Governor Tim Walz referred to the event as a brazen use of force and slammed what the state claims is the federal government's decision to exclude a Minnesota agency from its investigation.
We have learned that the Trump administration has now denied the state that ability to participate in the investigation. Minnesota must be part of this investigation.
Walz called on federal authorities to work with state and local officials to de-escalate the tension in the community and for protesters to remain peaceful, while vowing to get justice for the mother of 3 who lost her life.
Minnesotans will tell her life story. Minnesotans will be there to defend her honor and see this as a human being.
In Minneapolis, I'm Lee Waldman.
Also today, we've been getting reaction from local officials to the ICE shooting in Minneapolis.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said it was a foreseeable and preventable event.
It was foreseeable. It's preventable. It's tragic. And the response by this administration is grossly irresponsible. It's foreseeable because this administration is encouraging ICE to act aggressively across the nation. They're celebrating the very aggressive and sometimes violent takedowns and raids.
Now, WHAS11 spoke with Republican Rand Paul today about several issues, and we got his thoughts on the events in Minneapolis. But Paul did tell us that he can't really weigh in right now on either side until he knows more of the facts.
We're continuing to follow this story for you, both on the air and online. The best way to stay up to date with any new updates is by downloading the WHAS11 app. It's free to download wherever you get your apps. Right here, new tonight at 5. We've got some new updates on the 2025 crime numbers for Metro Louisville.
The chief of Metro Police saying homicides were down last year compared to the year before. Now, according to Louisville Metro Gun Violence Dashboard, there were 107 homicides last year in Louisville. That's the first time since 2019 that we've had less than 130 homicides in a year.
Chief Paul Humphrey today saying it's a step in the right direction, but the fight isn't over.
As we talk about these stats going in the right direction, though, I want to emphasize that there is no goal, there is no finish line in this. We have to keep pushing. This comes from a combination of strategy, hard work, community collaboration, and some luck.
Chief went on to say today that last year, burglaries of homes and businesses went down along with auto thefts. However, theft of items out of cars did go up, which he's called very concerning.
A new update tonight as Councilwoman Donna Purvis wants Louisville's community commitment to become law. The community commitment is the city's own version of a consent decree, an agreement aimed at police reform. Now, last week, a federal judge formally dismissed the federal consent decree that came from an investigation into LMPD following the death of Breonna Taylor.
This ordinance isn't perfect, but it demonstrates to the people of the city and to the broader community that we meant what we said in that consent decree. We will honor our commitments and enshrine our promises of higher standards into laws that all of us must follow. with real penalties for those who break those laws.
Purvis says as part of the process to pass the ordinance, she plans to hold multiple hearings for people to share their thoughts.
Well, Kentucky is home to a lot of railroads and, of course, railroad lines. Today, Governor Andy Beshear announcing new funding to strengthen Kentucky's rail system. The state is awarding $3 million for 9 rail projects in 7 different counties, focusing on the safety, efficiency, and economic growth. Nearly $1.4 million will go to Louisville and Owensboro, rebuilding industrial tracks and improving access at the Owensboro Riverport. Another $1.6 million will fund crossing upgrades, new signals, and traffic improvements across Kentucky.
These upgrades are critical to the safety and efficiency of Kentucky's transportation network. Nearly $1.4 million is going to 2 projects in Louisville and Owensboro. One will rebuild and reactivate 6,400 feet of industrial track in Jefferson County. And the other will help the Owensboro Riverport Authority pave an access road and create a designated area to store, load, and unload rail cars.
State leaders say the rail investments will help attract business, improve safety, and create new opportunities for communities across Kentucky. Well, it is still early January, and of course, we're going to get rain.
Yeah, of course. Now, we walked out the door today. Didn't really need a coat again, Mallory, but we'll probably need that raincoat in the morning.
No, you're right. It started off chilly today, but then it warmed up nicely, and really you can feel the humidity coming in, Mallory.
Yes, dew points have been increasing throughout the day. So we have dew points in the 50s. That means higher humidity. That's out ahead of this line of gusty showers and maybe a few embedded thunderstorms that will be rolling through during the Friday morning commute. Really anywhere between 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Friday from west to east. Once that clears, it should be fairly quiet on Friday. Temperatures Friday night dropping into the 40s. Some light showers are possible Saturday, and then much colder by Sunday with flurries possible and highs just in the 30s. Now, we originally had a weather impact alert also for Saturday, but we've had some changes to the forecast. Really, our rainfall amounts have greatly decreased, as a lot of it is going to be hanging more so down to the east and the southeast, and also temperatures won't be as warm on Saturday before the cool down, so there won't be as drastic of a drop. But you can tell the system that we're paying attention to currently off to our west here. So as we carry on throughout this evening, a spotty shower is possible, but anything this evening will be staying light. The main time frame, as I mentioned, will be after 3 o'clock in the morning through about 9 a.m. on Friday. Of course, we'll talk much more about the impacts to your Friday morning commute coming up in our extended forecast.
All right. Thank you much, Mallory.